The alien city was quiet at night. Tall stone towers stood under two pale moons, and the streets were empty except for the hum of distant machines. Somewhere deep inside the city, a human man named Daniel walked slowly, carrying a small black case in his hands. He kept his hood low. He did not want to be seen. Daniel was an engineer. On Earth, people called him a genius with machines. But here, on this alien colony, he was just another worker, fixing broken doors and repairing old lights. Still, he carried a secret tonight, a secret that could change a life. Inside the black case was something he had built with his own hands, a special visor. It was not big, just a simple band of metal and glass, but its power was great. It could turn darkness into light. It could let a blind person see. Daniel reached a small stone house at the edge of the city. He knocked twice. The door opened, and a small alien child stood there. His name was Kale. Kale's eyes were pale and clouded. He was born blind. The other children laughed at him. The soldiers of the colony ignored him. But Daniel felt something for the boy. Maybe it was kindness. Maybe it was guilt. Or maybe it was just the human part of him that could not stand to see a child suffer. Kale's mother stepped back, letting Daniel enter. She was afraid. She knew what humans were forbidden to do. "If they find you here," she whispered. "I know," Daniel answered softly. "But tonight is different." Daniel opened the black case. Inside, the visor glowed faint blue. Kale's small hands trembled as he reached for it. "What is it?" Kale asked, his voice full of wonder. "A gift," Daniel said. "Something that might let you see." Kale's mother gasped. She covered her mouth, terrified. "No, this is not allowed. If the soldiers discover—" "They won't," Daniel interrupted. But in his heart, he was not sure. He had already broken the law. With gentle hands, Daniel placed the visor over Kale's head. It fit perfectly. A faint light spread across the glass lenses. For a moment, there was only silence. Then Kale froze. His pale eyes widened. He lifted his hands and looked at them. For the first time in his life, he saw. I can see my hands," Kale whispered. His voice shook. "They are real. They move. I can see you." He pointed at Daniel, his small finger shaking. Then he turned toward his mother. "Mother, your face. I can see your face." Tears rolled down his mother's cheeks. She touched her son's face, whispering prayers to her gods. Kale ran to the small window and looked outside. He gasped at the moons, the stars, the glowing lamps of the city. So much light. So many colors. I never knew the world was so big. Daniel smiled, but there was sadness in his eyes. He knew what he had given was more than sight. It was hope. And hope was dangerous. Suddenly, Kale laughed and began naming things he saw. The table, the lamp, the stone on the floor. Oh, the sky. Daniel, the sky is endless. His joy filled the small room like music. But Daniel's ears caught something else too, a faint sound outside. A humming drone. A flicker of red light in the window. He turned quickly, pulling the curtain closed. His face grew hard. "Daniel?" Kale asked, noticing his sudden fear. "It's nothing," Daniel lied. "Just keep looking. Remember every detail. Every color. No one can take that from you now." But Daniel's heart was heavy. The soldiers had eyes everywhere. Humans were not allowed to share advanced machines with alien races. The law was clear. And yet, Daniel had broken it. Kale's mother noticed his worry. "They will punish you if they find out," she whispered. Daniel did not answer. He only watched the boy, who now looked at the world with fresh wonder. The boy who laughed at stars he had never known existed. But outside, in the shadow of the street, a mechanical drone hovered silently. Its red eye glowed, recording everything. It sent the images far away, to men who would not smile at the gift Daniel had given. To men who saw not a miracle, but a crime. Daniel did not know yet, but the soldiers were already watching. And soon, they would come for him. For now, inside the small stone house, Cale spun in circles, laughing, pointing, seeing the world for the very first time. Daniel closed his eyes and whispered to himself, "If hope is a crime, then let them come." The night after Cale first saw the world, Daniel stayed awake. He sat in his small workshop, the Visor's blueprints spread across the table. His hands were dirty with oil, his eyes heavy with no sleep, but his mind refused to rest. He had given sight to a blind child. A miracle, yes, but also a crime. Every few minutes, Daniel looked out the window. The streets were quiet, but he knew silence did not mean safety. Drones could fly without sound. Soldiers could move like shadows. He had felt their eyes on him before, and now he was sure of it. Just before dawn, a knock came at his door. Sharp. Fast. Urgent. Daniel froze. He almost reached for the pistol hidden under the table, but then a voice whispered through the wood. "Open, human. Quickly." It was Rin, an alien merchant who sometimes brought Daniel food and parts for his machines. Daniel unlatched the door and pulled him inside. Rin's eyes were wide, his skin pale with fear. "They know," he hissed. "The soldiers. They know what you did." Daniel's chest tightened. "How?" Rin shook his head. "Drones. They watch everything. Last night they saw the light in the boy's house. They saw him look at the sky. You think they will not notice a miracle? Foolish human." Daniel clenched his fists. "Cale deserves to see. He deserves more than the darkness they forced on him." "Maybe," Rin said, lowering his voice. "But the soldiers will not forgive. They fear us learning from you. They say if humans give us technology, we will rise against them. So they will not allow it. They will kill you. They may kill the boy." Daniel's jaw tightened. His heart ached at the thought. Cale, so full of joy, so alive for the first time, punished just for seeing. "What do I do?" Daniel asked. Rin looked around nervously. "Destroy the visor. Hide the boy. Pretend this never happened. It is the only way." Daniel stared at the blueprint on his table. His invention was not just wires and glass. It was Cale's new world. Destroy it. Take the child's sight away? He could not. Rin saw the answer in Daniel's eyes and cursed under his breath. "You humans are stubborn. You will bring fire on all of us." Before Daniel could reply, a faint hum passed over the roof. Both men froze. Through the crack of the window, a red light scanned the street. "A drone." Rin whispered. "It begins." The drone drifted past, but Daniel knew more would come. And behind them, soldiers. Ruthless, armored, and merciless. That evening, Daniel returned to Cale's house. The boy was sitting outside, visor glowing faintly, staring at the sunset. His small hands reached toward the horizon as if trying to touch the fire in the sky. "Daniel!" Cale shouted with joy. "The sky changes color. It was blue, now it is red and gold. It is beautiful." Daniel forced a smile, though fear gripped his chest. He knelt beside the boy. "Cale, listen to me. You must keep the visor hidden when you are outside. Do not let others see." Cale frowned. "Why? Did I do something wrong?" "No," Daniel said softly. "You did nothing wrong. But there are men who don't want you to see. Men who fear what you are." Cale's mother stepped forward, her voice sharp. "The merchant came today. He told me. The soldiers will come soon, won't they?" Daniel nodded slowly. "Yes, they will." Her hands trembled as she pulled her son close. "Then take it away from him. Save him." But Cale's small voice broke the silence. "Please, Daniel. Don't take my eyes away. Don't send me back into darkness. I just found the light. Daniel's throat tightened. He had seen war. He had seen men beg for mercy. But nothing cut deeper than the child's plea. I won't take it from you, Daniel said firmly. No matter what happens. The mother covered her face, torn between fear and love. Daniel stood, looking at the city. Somewhere beyond those towers, soldiers were already preparing. That night, Daniel prepared too. He packed supplies. He checked his tools, rewired old devices, and loaded his pistol. The Visor's small core, the heart of the machine, he hid inside his coat. When Cale slept, Daniel whispered to himself, "They will come for me. But they will not take him." Far away, in a steel fortress at the center of the colony, soldiers gathered. Their leader watched the drone recordings on a glowing screen. He saw the human place the visor on the alien child. He saw the boy laugh and point at the stars. The leader's eyes narrowed. This man breaks our law. He gives fire to the weak. If the aliens believe they can rise, they will rebel. We cannot allow it. The soldiers loaded their weapons. Boots marched on stone floors. Engines roared as armored transports prepared to roll. The hunt was beginning. And in the quiet stonehouse, Daniel's only thought was of the child who had seen the sky for the first time. He knew soldiers would tear that sky away if they could. But he swore to himself, "Not while I still breathe." The city slept under its twin moons, but Daniel did not. His eyes stayed sharp, his body tense. He knew the soldiers were coming. It was only a matter of time. Inside the small stone house, Cale dreamed peacefully, visor still on his face, glowing faint blue in the dark. Daniel sat by the door, pistol resting on his lap, waiting. Every sound outside made his heart beat faster. At midnight, the silence broke. Engines roared in the distance. Heavy wheels on stone streets. The low metallic buzz of drones swarming ahead. Daniel's eyes narrowed. They're here. He shook Cale awake. The boy blinked, confused. Daniel. We have to move, Daniel whispered. Now. Cale's mother gasped. Where will you go? Anywhere but here, Daniel answered. If they find us, it's over. He stuffed food and tools into a bag, grabbed Cale's hand, and slipped into the night. The streets were dark, but the soldiers brought their own light, sharp beams sweeping through alleys, searching every doorway. Drones flew overhead, red eyes glowing. Daniel pulled Cale into the shadows. He knew the city well. He had worked in its machines for years. He guided the boy through hidden alleys, back doors, broken tunnels. But the soldiers were trained hunters. Their boots grew louder. Their scanners beeped. Their voices echoed. Find the human. He has the device. Search every home. No mercy. Cale clutched Daniel's hand tighter. They're close, he whispered. Yes, Daniel said. But we're smarter. They ducked into an old workshop Daniel once repaired. Its machines were dead, but its doors still worked. He hacked the lock in seconds and pulled Cale inside. Through the cracked window, they saw soldiers pass, armored and armed with rifles that glowed faint red at the tips. One soldier stopped, scanning the ground. Daniel held his breath. Cale trembled, visor glowing faintly. Daniel quickly covered it with his hand. The soldier turned, then moved on. Only when the sound of boots faded did Daniel breathe again. But this was only the beginning. They left the workshop and moved deeper into the city. Drones still circled. Their red eyes swept across rooftops like predators searching for prey. Daniel stopped by a broken power box. He opened it with quick fingers, rewired 2 cables, and suddenly the nearest street lamps exploded in sparks. The drone's scanners flickered, confused. He grabbed Cale's hand. Run. They slipped away while the soldiers cursed at the sudden blackout. Cale gasped for air as they hid behind an old statue. Daniel, how long do we run? As long as it takes, Daniel said. His voice was calm, but inside, his heart raced. He was outnumbered, outgunned. But he had one advantage. His mind. Every step, every turn, he used his knowledge of the city, hacking locks, disabling sensors, leading Kale through paths soldiers would not think of. But the soldiers were closing in. By dawn, Daniel and Kale reached the edge of the city, where ruins of an older age stood, collapsed towers, broken bridges, dead machines buried in dust. Few came here. It was the perfect place to hide. Or so Daniel hoped. As Kale sat to rest, Daniel checked the visor. Its lenses flickered faintly, recording data. That was when he realized the truth. The visor was more than just sight. It was storing everything Kale saw. Every corner, every soldier, every drone. Proof of the hunt. Proof of their cruelty. If the colony saw this recording, the people would know the truth. The soldiers were not protectors. They were jailers. Daniel whispered. This could change everything. Kale looked up. What do you mean? Daniel touched the visor gently. Your eyes, Kale, they are not just your gift. They are a weapon against their lies. Before Kale could reply, a loud metallic voice echoed across the ruins. Human, you cannot run forever. Daniel's blood turned cold. The soldiers had found them. Armored figures stepped from the shadows, rifles aimed. Drones hovered above, red eyes glowing like angry stars. Kale's mother, who had followed them in secret, appeared from the ruins, screaming for her child. Soldiers shoved her aside. Daniel pulled Kale behind him, pistol raised. He knew it was useless against so many, but he would not surrender. The soldiers closed in slowly, their leader stepping forward. His armor was black, his helmet marked with a silver crest. His voice was cold. Give us the device, human. The boy does not need it. He belongs in the dark. Kale clung to Daniel's arm, shaking. Don't let them take it. Please. Daniel's eyes burned with fury. If you want it, he said, raising his pistol. Come and take it. The ruins fell silent for one heartbeat. Then chaos erupted. Gunfire roared. Smoke filled the air. Daniel dragged Kale into the broken halls of the ruins as soldiers fired. Explosions lit the night like lightning. The hunt had begun, and Daniel knew it would not end until one of them was dead. Smoke and dust filled the air as Daniel pulled Kale deeper into the ruins. Broken stone walls surrounded them, and shattered machines lay silent like fallen giants. Every corner echoed with the sound of soldiers' boots. Every shadow held the glow of a red drone eye. Daniel's pistol was hot in his hand. He had fired at least twice, just to slow the soldiers, but he knew the truth. His small weapon was nothing against their rifles and armor. Stay close, Kale, he whispered. Don't let go of my hand. Kale nodded, visor glowing faintly as it recorded everything. His small fingers clutched Daniel's tightly, his body trembling, but his voice steady. I trust you. They slipped into a half-collapsed building. The roof was gone, but the walls still stood. Daniel crouched behind broken stone, checking the bag of tools on his back. Wires, batteries, scrap metal. Nothing powerful, but enough for tricks. From outside came a harsh voice. Human. There is no escape. Surrender, and maybe we let the boy live. Daniel's teeth clenched. He knew it was a lie. Soldiers like these didn't spare lives. They erased problems. He whispered to Kale. Stay low. Cover your ears. Daniel quickly rigged a battery to a broken machine, twisting wires together. Sparks flew. He slid the device near the entrance, then pulled Kale away. The first soldier stepped inside. His boots crushed glass, his rifle glowing. Daniel pressed a switch. The machine exploded in a burst of light and sound. The soldier screamed, blinded for a moment. Daniel fired twice, not to kill but to scare. The man fell back, shouting. Chaos erupted. Soldiers stormed the ruins, firing into the dust. Daniel dragged Kale through a crack in the wall. They ran across broken ground, chased by beams of red light. Kale cried out, stumbling on loose stone. Daniel lifted him into his arms, running faster. His lungs burned, his legs screamed, but he did not stop. The ruins ended at a wide gorge. A broken bridge stretched across, half collapsed, stones missing. Below was only darkness. Daniel set Kale down. "We have to cross." Kale looked at the gap, eyes wide. "It's too far." Daniel knelt. "Hold tight to me. Trust me." He tied a cable from his bag to a rusted beam, then to his belt. With Kale clinging to him, he stepped onto the broken bridge. The stones groaned. Dust rained down into the abyss. Behind them, soldiers shouted. Drones buzzed closer, red eyes glaring. Halfway across, a shot cracked the air. A stone near Daniel's foot shattered. He almost slipped, but Kale held tighter. "Don't look down," Daniel said through gritted teeth. Another shot. The cable snapped loose from the beam. The bridge crumbled beneath their feet. Daniel jumped, pulling Kale with him. They hit the other side hard, rolling across the ground. The cable dragged, barely holding them to the ledge. Daniel clawed at the stone, pulling himself and Kale up. His arms screamed with pain, but he did not let go. Finally, they crawled onto solid ground. Daniel ripped the cable free and staggered to his feet. But they were not safe. The soldiers had stopped at the broken side of the bridge, but drones flew across easily. 3 of them circled Daniel and Kale, red lights flashing. Daniel raised his pistol, firing until it clicked empty. 1 drone fell in sparks, but the others fired back with stunners. Bolts of blue energy cracked the ground near his feet. He grabbed Kale and ran again, deeper into the ruins. His lungs burned, his side ached, but he forced his body forward. Finally, he stumbled into a dead end, a collapsed wall blocking the path. He turned quickly, but soldiers were already surrounding them, crossing the gorge with grappling lines, rifles ready. Kale clung to his arm, terrified. "Daniel!" Daniel placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. His eyes were hard, but his voice was calm. "Listen to me. No matter what happens, don't let them take away your hope. Promise me." Kale nodded, tears running down his cheeks. The soldiers closed in. Smoke cleared, and their leader stepped forward, black armor shining, silver crest on his helmet. He pointed at the visor on Kale's head. "Give it to us," the leader said coldly. "This technology belongs to the strong, not to a child. Surrender it, or we kill you both." Daniel's hand shook. He had no bullets left. No traps. No escape. Only the boy, and the visor that held their only chance. He pulled Kale close, whispering in his ear. "Whatever happens, remember what you saw. Remember the stars." The soldiers raised their rifles. Kale cried out, clutching the visor. "No. Don't take it." One soldier tore it from his head. The glowing lenses dimmed, and Kale's world went dark again. He screamed, reaching for Daniel. Daniel lunged, but the soldiers struck him down with a heavy blow. Blood filled his mouth as he hit the ground. His vision blurred, but his spirit burned with rage. The leader lifted the visor, inspecting it. "Yes. This will serve us well." Kale's cries echoed in the ruins. Daniel tried to rise, but the soldiers pressed him down with iron boots. His body was weak, but inside his mind, plans still turned. Because he knew one thing, the visor was more than just a tool. It carried a secret. And if the soldiers used it, they might unleash something they could not control. The boy had lost his sight again. Daniel had lost the fight. But the war was not over. The ruins were quiet, except for Kale's sobs. The visor lay in the soldier leader's hands, its glow fading under the harsh light of the armored men. Daniel lay on the ground, blood running from his head, every muscle aching. Pain tried to crush him, but his mind refused to stop. He looked at Kale. The boy's small hands reached out blindly, fingers trembling. Daniel's heart broke. He had promised to protect him, and now it seemed he had failed. The soldier leader studied the visor with cold eyes. "With this, we control the colony," he said. No human device will remain hidden. No alien will rise against us. Daniel forced himself to sit up. You think this visor makes you strong, he said, voice hoarse. But you are wrong. You don't understand what it can do. The leader laughed, a sharp, cruel sound. I understand enough. And you? You understand nothing. You and your child, your friend, you are weak. Daniel's hand moved to his bag. Hidden inside was the real secret, the visor's core. The part the soldiers did not notice. While they stared at the boy, Daniel had wired a small transmitter into it. It was tiny, simple, but powerful. If activated, it could send a signal, one that would show the colony the truth. He whispered to Kale, "Hold still. Trust me." Kale blinked, tears streaming. Daniel. I can't see. I know, Daniel said softly. But your eyes, and your courage, can still shine. With a small motion, Daniel pressed a hidden button on the core. A faint blue pulse ran through the visor, unnoticed by the soldiers. Outside the ruins, lights flickered across the city. Drones paused. Red beams flickered and went dark. The pulse broadcasted the data stored in the visor, everything Kale had seen. The soldier's leader noticed something. What is happening? Daniel coughed, trying to rise. You took the boy's eyes. But you cannot hide the truth. Screens across the city lit up suddenly, recordings of soldiers abusing power, hunting humans and aliens alike, terrifying acts captured by Kale's visor. The colony's citizens gasped in horror. Alarms blared. Soldiers were surrounded by angry crowds gathering in every district. They saw the truth. They saw the cruelty. Panic spread among the soldiers. The leader bellowed orders, but the people no longer obeyed. They had seen what the soldiers truly were. Kale, still blind, looked up at Daniel. His small hands trembled. The stars, did they? Daniel smiled weakly. They're still there, Kale. We just showed everyone else what the dark really is. The soldiers tried to flee, but the citizens were too many. People surrounded them, demanding justice. Drones were captured, dismantled, and smashed. The power of fear that had ruled the colony for so long collapsed in hours. Daniel, bleeding, staggered to Kale's side. He hugged the boy gently. You are safe now. The darkness cannot reach you anymore. Kale sniffled. Even without the visor, I feel the stars. Daniel nodded. Yes, the light is not just in machines. It is in us, in hope, in courage, in truth. The leader of the soldiers fell to his knees, realizing he had lost. Daniel's plan had worked, not by bullets, not by traps, but by showing the truth to everyone. Kale's mother ran to them, embracing her son tightly. Tears of relief and joy streamed down her face. Thank you, Daniel, she whispered. Daniel looked up at the sky. The twin moons shone brightly. Stars glimmered beyond, endless and pure. Despite the battle, despite the pain, the universe remained magnificent. He looked at Kale, who smiled faintly despite his blindness. The stars, Daniel said softly. They always shine, even when someone tries to hide them. Kale nodded. I can see them here, he said, placing his small hand over his chest. Daniel's lips curled into a tired but proud smile. Humans may bring fear, but sometimes we bring hope too. As the sun rose over the ruins, the colony began to rebuild. The people were awake now, aware of the truth, ready to protect one another. Daniel and Kale stood together, knowing this was only the beginning. Battles would come again, but for now, light had won. The visor, though powerless in the boy's hands, had done its job. And Daniel, battered but unbroken, understood something profound. Courage, hope, and truth could never be destroyed, not even by the strongest soldier or the darkest law. Kale reached for Daniel's hand. Let's see the stars together, every night. Daniel squeezed it firmly. Yes, every night. And as the wind swept across the ruins, carrying the sound of a new dawn, Daniel knew that the human heart, brave, stubborn, and unyielding, was the most powerful thing in the universe.